Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is my 1 year Japanese update video. Excuse me. It's been about a year since I started learning Japanese, and I just figured I'll make an update video talking about my progress and everything up to this point. So I don't have a script because that'll take way too long to write. Maybe an outline, of course, would be better. But I just want to make a video talking about stuff. I haven't made any update videos until now, and I can't believe it's been a whole year. Like, honestly, I don't feel like it's been a year. I think other people that are a year in or around there can probably feel the same way, maybe. Like, whoa, it's already been a year. Like, man, back near the beginning of my journey, I looked forward to a year, and especially the honorable 18 months. The 1.5 years, the Katsumoto number, 18 months, but also 1 year as well. It's like, that's pretty far away. I bet I'll be really good at Japanese then if I keep this up, right? And spoiler alert, I'm not that good at Japanese after a year, but we'll talk about that. So, yeah, let's start at the beginning of my journey. It's roughly a year ago. I don't have one specific day where I started learning Japanese. It was kind of a gradual process where I discovered more stuff and did more stuff, but June of 2020, last year, 1 year ago, I remember I started learning Japanese by just memorizing the hiragana and katakana, what everyone does, what everyone stumbles across. I just memorized that in like a week or so. I don't remember exactly how long. Maybe it was longer than that. But I remember around that time in June 2020, I remember I memorized one word. I knew one word in Japanese, and it was nani, the kanji. So I downloaded the input software on my phone to type Japanese. This is June 2020, I mean 1 year ago. And so I could type, okay, na, ni, turn it into nani. So that was kind of whatever. I wasn't serious about learning Japanese then. I was just, fiddling around, screwing around basically, and just memorizing random stuff. I still didn't know any actual words since, I was doing other things, I think. I remember that time in June 2020 as well, I turned my phone completely to Japanese, and I couldn't figure things out. It took me literally hours to figure out how to turn it back to English and figure out how to do stuff. Holy crap. Now it's been a year, I'm totally comfortable. If my phone is in Japanese, I'll understand most stuff, so it's fine. But I literally did that June 2020, right at the beginning. I didn't understand anything. I knew 0 words. It just looked like scribbles. So that month as well, let's see. I don't remember too much. My memory is pretty bad, and I didn't make update videos along the way, so I can't look back at those. And I didn't log too much. I literally didn't log anything. I remember some days there's a couple days here and there where I wrote down what I did, how much I did and stuff, but there's no consistent log or anything, and I'm fine with that. I do kind of wish in my head that I have been making update videos every few months and writing down how much I'm immersing and what content I've been immersing in and stuff. But that's okay. It's okay that I don't do that. So let's go back to the beginning of my journey in June 2020. Again, I wasn't serious at that point. So I remember I kind of Googled how to learn Japanese or whatever, and I remember I did this program, Pimsleur. It's a language learning app. I did my smart research, big brain research, and I'm like, no, Rosetta Stone, Duolingo, those things aren't good. But Pimsleur is pretty good. So I'm like, now, actuality, of course, obviously doing Pimsleur is a waste of time in hindsight because it's just immerse, but it was at the time the best thing known to man that I knew of, basically. Because I knew that like Pimsleur, like you're listening and you're saying phrases and sentences. You're not just memorizing vocab, and like you're saying like really common sentences and phrases and stuff. So I did that. Probably I was kind of intensive with it. I did like 2 hours a day of Pimsleur for like a month or so, and I was paying for it. It's a paid app. But then I discovered Matt vs. Japan a couple months in. Discovered Matt vs. Japan, watched all of his videos, and it made sense. And I'm like, whoa, this whole immersion thing sounds pretty cool. And I watched more videos to get more of an idea. So you're like, oh, okay, so I do Anki, I listen, I read, I wait until I don't speak from the beginning. I wait until I can understand stuff before I output, and just immerse a lot. Okay. And I read Katsumoto's site, the guy, you might be familiar with him. He was kind of an inspiration for Matt vs. Japan, and he basically wrote a blog series of how to learn Japanese and how good he was after 18 months. So he made an 18-month update, basically, blog style, and that was a decade ago. All Japanese all the time. AJAT. That was called AJAT. And so I read that site. I read like all the articles. I watched all of Matt vs. Japan's videos. I read like the mass immersion approach site, because that existed at the time. Now it's Refold. It's a totally different thing, by the way. Well, I mean, the concept is similar, teaching people how to learn a language through immersion, but Refold is a lot more, professional and business-like. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm gonna go over my journey. So at the beginning, I just like memorized katakana, hiragana, turned my phone to Japanese or whatever. Started on this Pimsleur course a little bit, memorized some like verbal like sentences and phrases. Discovered Matt vs. Japan's videos and started putting it into action. It took me like a few weeks of like after I first watched his first video to actually put stuff into action, because I was kind of like, this sus. This kind of guy is kind of, I don't know if I can believe everything he says, but no, in time, everything he says is pretty true. So I started on RTK. I started on RTK soon after, because that was the logical step. That was what Matt vs. Japan recommended back then. Around June, July, August? Around August 2020, I started RTK. And I only did like 10 cards a day, or like 15 cards a day. So it took me like 3 months. It took me 3 months until I finished RTK. But by the time I finished RTK, I've done enough immersion where I could comfortably get into sentence mining. So it took me 3 months, and then I started sentence mining. I actually started sentence mining a little bit before I finished RTK. So I was doing both RTK and sentence mining for a brief period of time, but then I finished RTK, and then the reps went down, and I deleted RTK roughly 1 month after finishing the deck. And so my sentence mining continued to climb then. And that was like 4 months into learning Japanese. So I started sentence mining, I watching anime. I got the Netflix setup. I still use this exact same sentence mining setup to this day, but Matt vs. Japan made a video on like a good sentence mining setup with Netflix and anime about 5 months into learning Japanese, and I still use it to this day. So you have like Netflix and Anki, and you use certain like Chrome extensions to make it really effortless, like Yomi-chan and language learning with Netflix and stuff. But anyway, so I was sentence mining, watching anime about 4 months in and stuff, 5 months in. A really good anime. I remember I watched some anime that I watched at that period. I don't remember because I don't log it. But Violet Evergarden, I've literally watched that anime 3 times. 3 times now. But so Violet Evergarden, I watched No Game, No Life. I actually watched it in English, like right before I started learning Japanese, and then again in Japanese, just so to make it more comprehensible, basically. It's an alright anime. I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece or anything, but it's kind of a weird anime, but it's good. Um, I also watched, let's see, oh yeah, Evangelion. What is the Neon Genesis Evangelion? I forgot how to say it, but I watched it's the classic anime. So I watched that pretty early on. I understood. I remember watching it, and I can remember watching the episode, and I understood like really close to nothing. I watched with Japanese subtitles, obviously, to make it easier. Um, there's just a lot of words. It's really impossible because I would only have like a couple hundred hours of immersion up to that point, or even less. No, probably less than that. So I really didn't know. But yeah, past that point, I started. Let's see. So I was really hardcore going Japanese at that point. Like 4 months in, 5 months in, 6 months in, 7 months in. That was kind of like my hardcore point. I remember I started picking up light novels 6 months in, which is a lot earlier than what most people I think do it, but started reading light novels 6 months in. Spoiler alert, I still suck at reading light novels, but we'll get to that. I'm better, obviously, twice as good. But I read, my very first light novel was Kino no Tabi. I think that's a really great novel, and it's really common for Japanese learners to read it. I watched the anime with Japanese subtitles and Senna's Mind it, and then I read the light novel, so I already knew the story to make it more comprehensible. Yeah, so there was a couple light novels that I read like a few chapters of that on like a what is it called? A fan made, like fan fiction? No, not fan fiction, but you know, people just uploading their personal like little light novels, not like published, not officially published, but just people writing novels and posting it on a website. And then I downloaded some of those and read a few chapters. I didn't really finish any of them, but I got some good reading in. I remember one was called, I can't remember exactly. Elmo's Fire. It's you wouldn't know. It's really it's not popular, right? But let's see. So later on in my journey, I don't have a script, I'm sorry, but later in my journey, I watched Terrace House. I remember I watched a lot of Terrace House, and like 5 months in, 6 months in, 7 months in, I didn't understand most stuff because it's really like listening, because my listening ability was really terrible back then. Still is, but we'll get to that. My listening ability was really bad, so I basically survived off of reading the subtitles for Terrace House. Because if I turn off the subtitles, it's just no. Basically, it's kind of hopeless almost. But so I was hardcore watching a lot of that, a lot of anime, some Terrace House, reading like light novels. Obviously sucked, but I kind of powered through it. Just boom, I just did it. I remember too in that period, like 6 months in, I remember there was like a day where I didn't like have anything else going on in the day, and I literally just did immersion for 12 hours straight. I logged it and it was 12.2 hours. And I don't even think that was including Anki. So I did like 13 plus hours of Japanese immersion in one day, or Japanese in one day. Obviously, I'm not that hardcore anymore. That was a really insane period of my life. I remember I even did Anki reps and started watching anime like on Christmas Day. And my family's like, yeah, let's do stuff. I'm like, but I gotta sentence mine. I gotta watch my anime. So, yeah. So that was about 6 months in. 6 months in. Yeah. Let's see. I can't exactly remember how much I actually did Japanese, because like some days I immersed like a ton, but other days I had other hobbies like solving Rubik's Cubes and playing the piano. I think I quit cubing. Cubing is solving Rubik's Cubes and stuff like that. I quit cubing like around the time that I started learning Japanese. So that the time commitment kind of, so I kind of replaced cubing with Japanese in a way, but also just really ramped up Japanese. So let's see. I'm all over the place. Let's get cut to the chase, man. I'm bad at English, but anyway. Wait, am I bad at English? Whatever. I'll stop saying that. I bet if I say I'm bad at English, it'll probably make me worse at English, right? Like that's how identity works. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so I remember there was a really terrible time, like 7 or 8 months in, like the beginning of February, I think, or maybe around there, where I literally didn't immerse for 2 weeks straight. Like I was really feeling really down. I didn't do Anki at all. I can see on my Anki that I just had a complete hole in my Anki reps for like 2 weeks straight, and it was really bad. And I was really not enjoying myself. Like it was definitely a big rut for me. I was just doing garbage all day that I didn't feel proud of doing. I didn't feel happy doing, really. And I was really doubting things, and there's been a lot of times where I've been doubting things like that, or like around that time, like a couple months after that as well. So, sounds cliche, but we all go through bad spots, and that was really bad for me. But yeah, I picked it kind of back up, but not as strong as before. Still was immersing a few hours a day doing my own reps and stuff. So yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of more notable things that's happened. Oh yeah. Just recently. So I'm gonna skip a few months. I don't know. So just skip right now. Right now. Let's go. It's been 1 year, and things that has happened recently. I talked to my older sister Julian, who lives. They live in Japan, and so I had a conversation with them completely in Japanese. So I understand like most of what they said, but I like to say I understand basically all, but probably really didn't. I bet they can watch this video and be like, yeah, no, you did not understand what I was saying. But I can express myself fairly well, like probably better than I expected, actually, because I didn't expect myself to be able to output like at all after a year. I remember I also tried to speak Japanese with Julian like 7 months in or something, and obviously that was just impossible. That was just impossible. So I really haven't spoken. So my speaking ability is just really poor for 2 reasons. Because number 1, I haven't spoken, and number 2, I haven't done enough listening. My listening ability is pretty low as well. So if I just listen more and speak more, I'll get better at speaking. Right now, it's probably just listen for a while, just get a lot of listening. But yeah, other things, I'm learning Japanese, not as, I'm not hardcore, but I'm learning like 4 hours a day, maybe? I'm not tracking it. Don't quote me on that, but let's see. So, I don't have a script. Shoot. I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Let me just throw some good, no, wait. Having a script is just an outline of what you're going to say. Like, okay, I'm going to say this, talk about this, and then talk about this. That's way better. So, probably should have done that, but I'm not going to restart the video. So, I'm just going to talk and stuff. So, gotta hydrate, man. Hydration. Hydration. All right, so let's see. Let me talk about my immersion content, right? My immersion content. Mostly anime. I've watched some Terrace House. I've watched like a couple drama movies, but for the most part, it's been anime. I also listen to some podcasts and radio shows. Sometimes I watch the anime and then listen to the radio show. For example, Yuri Kyung, that the radio show for that is really good. Look it up on YouTube. So if you've seen the anime, oh gosh, when I drink water, I like anyway. But Yuru Camp is the anime, and then there's a radio show, like podcast type thing. I don't know really what to call it, Dagio, but listen to that sometimes. I know Mushoku Tensei. I watched the anime Mushoku Tensei. It was actually really, really, really good. I loved it. Like probably one of my favorites, honestly. Mushoku Tensei. That's why I picked up the radio show, Nagio. Listened to that. Really, really good. Loved it. For reading light novels, I don't really read manga. Not because it's bad, just because I don't necessarily. I've read like some, like a few volumes in my life. So I bought. Oh yeah, the Promised Neverland is a really good anime. Watch that too. I literally have my computer propped up on. Wait. Okay, I'm trying to hold stuff, but I have a few novels of the Promised Neverland. I read that really early on, like 6 months, 7 months or something. No, I guess that's not really early on, but fairly early on. Read that, like, 6 months in. I bought, oh shoot, my computer, wait. I literally, because my computer stand broke, so I prop it up with my manga books. So, I have a few volumes of that. I also have this book. Other than that, I don't really buy physical books, unfortunately. I just read it digitally, just because it's more convenient. But this book, this is a story. I'm going to tell you a story about this book. It's a short story. I got this book literally just a couple months into learning Japanese. I bought it off of Amazon, Snow Country, as you can see. I think it's, Red. It's Red, Yukiguni. It's a really famous author. Don't tell me to read it. Don't tell me to read the author. I can't. So but Koto, never mind. Okay. So, but this book, I got just a couple months into learning Japanese. I tried to read it and I could not get past the first page at all. Like I didn't understand anything. And then a few months later, like 6 months in learning Japanese, after I already read Kino no Tabi, that light novel, I was a lot better at reading. Got a lot of immersion. Tried to read it again, and I'm like, I could actually understand stuff. I could actually understand what the book was talking about, the story. Like they're on a train station, they're on a train, there's like a guy and a girl, and it's snow country and stuff. So I got that. And then I picked it up again a couple months after that, and I read like the first 20 pages or something. Kawabata Yasunari. Yasunari Kawabata. Yeah. But I read it like a couple months after that, and I was like, I understand more. And I haven't read this book in a few months now. I'm gonna read it. It's been a year. I can read it. Let's go. I'm a pro. Not really. But yeah. So this book is kind of almost a measure of my reading ability. Because a couple months in, literally nothing. 6 months in, whoa, I can understand some stuff. A couple months after that, whoa, I can I can read 20 pages and get most of what's being said. And probably now it's been a few months since I picked this book up, I can probably understand a lot more, obviously. Read a lot farther, enjoy more of the story and more of the writing of the author. So, other than that, I don't really have physical books. I have a Kindle. Not obviously, but I have a Kindle. Cool Kindle. I've read some Japanese books on here. I even read English books on here too. I remember a time in my hardcore phase, I didn't read any English books because I'm like, wait, that's a waste, just Japanese. But yeah, so. So I use my Kindle to read Japanese books, a couple English books. I read some Japanese books on my computer as well, just using, what's that software called? Calibri? I don't know. It's the book management software. So, yeah, let's talk about... So, sorry about my timeline of my journey. I have a bad memory, don't log stuff, didn't make update videos, and, whatever. So, but it's been a year. So this is the 1 year update, man. And how good am I at Japanese? I'm completely fluent in Japanese, and I'm basically as good as Japanese. I'm basically as good in Japanese as in English. Like, it's like a really small difference. Like I'm watching a TV show, I understand effortlessly. Like, even like adult novels. Like, I read like all of Ningen Shikaku just like a week ago. Finished it like really fast because my reading speed is like almost what it is in English. It's because I've been reading light novels since 6 months. Guess what? I just said all of that as a troll. I'm not good at Japanese. I tried to act natural, but the last minute of me rambling about how I'm so good, yeah, no, I suck. No, I have not read Ningen Shikaku. I will. It's the legendary Ningen Shikaku. But no, I suck. Nowhere close. Japanese is nowhere close to English after a year. And I probably have like roughly 1,000 hours of immersion. But roughly, yeah, probably like maybe 1,500 hours, I don't know. But I'm not good. Let me describe my ability a little bit more detailed. I can watch slice of life anime with no subtitles, just listening, and I understand like virtually everything. Like, there's some words here and there I don't get, but like I understand everything. I can, like, there's no point of the story or the plot that I don't understand. I understand basically every line. More difficult things, like maybe anime that has more specific themes, like vampires, or like different worlds, or like, I can't, whatever, like, when an anime has a certain theme, so it has a lot of language about that theme, then there's going to be some words about, that I don't get. So I understand a little bit less, but I still understand everything that's going on. There's no part of the story that I don't get. And I usually watch anime with subtitles, which is probably a bad habit, but I sometimes watch it without, so I'll just continue to, anyway, so, can't talk, okay. So yeah, so my listening ability is alright. Could be better. My reading ability is way better, honestly. Like, I'm probably more comfortable reading a light novel than I am watching the anime of that light novel. Like, probably? I could do a test where I watch the anime with, obviously, just listening. So watch the anime listening, and then read the light novel reading. And it'd probably be similar just because the visual of the anime makes it so it's more comprehensible, so my listening ability will be buffed for that. My pure listening, my podcasts, so I do listen to like podcasts and radio shows, and I can follow, so it's a lot harder. So I should say like slice of life anime, really easy, like, understand that, so easy. Still a couple of words here and there I don't get, but for the most part, I understand it. And then there's like anime that's more specific. There's some domain language that I won't understand, but podcasts and radio shows that are just pure listening is a lot harder. And my attention span isn't great with those, so I tend to kind of put it on passive listening. So I can't really evaluate how much I understand of it, but like, I am not going to give a percentage. Like, I'm never going to say percentage number. That's kind of dumb, and it's not really helpful to give a percentage, I think. But like, maybe there's the Refold comprehension factor. Like, I feel like I'm a 4 on a radio show and like 5 on an anime. Okay, actually, I don't remember the comprehensibility index too much, but it's a little bit lower. Some harder listening is when people are talking a lot more casually and there's like more interrupting and stuff. So I think listening to Terrace House is probably easier. I mean, harder. Listening is probably harder, even though it's slice of life technically. Just because people slur and stuff and go like this, and it's like, well, how the hell are you gonna, like, what the fuck are you saying, man? Sorry for my swearing, I shouldn't swear. It's like, this is Terrace House. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, can you understand? Yeah, no. And then radio shows are like, konnichiwa, yurikande, whatever. So, yeah. What did I want to say in this update, man? I'm not gonna take another take of this, by the way. This is it. I'm not gonna make an outline and then redo this. I'm gonna make another update video sometime soon, but I'm probably gonna make an outline for that too. I might track my immersion. I might track, what kind of stuff I'm immersing in. But yeah, so let me describe my ability a little bit more. So I haven't really tried reading manga too much, as I said. So I'm probably good at reading manga. I just haven't really tried. Light novels. So let me describe a little bit more. So easy light novels like Kino no Tabi, Onaji Yume o Mite ita, what else? A couple others. My memory is really bad right now. I got like 0 hours of sleep, just chill. Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei, it's a little bit harder than Kino no Tabi or Onaji Yume o Mite ita. Why am I talking like that? Anyway. So, but yeah, I'm gonna, let me make sure. Let me open up my books actually, so I can actually talk. Let's see. So let me look at it right now. I'm pulling it up, Calibri. So right now, I'm reading Majo no Tabi Tabi. It's pretty good so far. I've only read a little bit. Let's see. Mushoku Tensei, that light novel. Mata onaji yume o mite ita. Ame no hi no airisu. Ame no hi no airisu. Kino no tabi. この素晴らしい世界に祝福を、ブレインマシン、日常の夏休み、お前をタクにして、お前をしてあるから。Yeah. 俺をリア充にしてくれ. I didn't read the whole light novel of that, so that's why I struggled reading the title. But let's see. Owari no Serafu. I really liked the anime, so Owari no Serafu, I think it's called like Seraph of the End. It's a vampire-esque kind of anime, but it's actually really, really good. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of an even better vampire-esque anime that I really loved. Oh my gosh. Kawabata of the Iron Fortress. I'm gonna look up the name, but Iron Fortress vampire anime. What is it called? Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. So Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. That was a really good anime. It's a vampire kind of theme, but people say it like rips off of Attack on Titan. I guess the theme is similar to Attack on Titan, but honestly it's a different anime. It's totally different. I actually love it, really. And then we have some more light novels. So every light novel that I've said so far, I've started reading. I can tell you which ones I've finished and not finished and how far I got or whatever. But I guess I tend to not really finish things too much. So that's kind of weird. Plus these are not even close to all of the light novels I've touched. There's also ReZero. So ゼロから始める異世界生活。 0から始める異世界生活. There's that light novel. There's Overload. There's that. There's Yagate Kimi ni Naru. I watched the anime. I tend to like watch the anime and then read the light novel for something. Like I watched Kino no Tabi. I read the light novel. I watched Mushoku Tensei. Read the light novel. At least I started it. I didn't actually finish the first volume of Mushoku Tensei light novel, but whatever. So I watched Yagate Kimi ni Naru. I read Yagate Kimi ni Naru. So it's kind of anime light novel. Kind of, I like doing that. It makes the light novels more comprehensible. So it probably, I might make it seem like I'm better at reading than I actually am, because I already know the kind of the general like characters and general outline of the story. But another god anime is the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I watched that once in English like a couple of years ago. Watched it again. It's so good. Bro, you have to, if you have not seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, you have to watch it. Like, force yourself to do it. It's worth it, bro. There's a reason why it's the highest rated anime in the world. And it's been that way for a whole decade since it came out. It's really, really, really good. So there's that. Let me look up some other stuff. So yeah, as I said, I immerse in anime, I immerse in not very much drama, not very much manga. I immerse in light novels, I immerse in radio shows, YouTube videos. There's a couple of YouTubers. Let me just say their names so you can be happy. I'll say it. Let's say everything. Let's see. There's, oh yeah, Roto Ozeki, Ozeki Roto. This guy is learning English. He makes English update videos, so I listen to that in Japanese. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool listening to someone in Japanese learning English through the same method that I'm learning Japanese. So again, it's Roto Ozeki. Has like 400 subscribers, has like 8 videos or something. He's made update videos in English. He's made a I speak English after 1 year of immersion learning. He's made that video, so I watched those videos. Another one is Inoijo, or Joe Inoi or whatever. I don't know. He makes a lot of videos related to like language learning and culture. So he like talks about English memes in Japanese or something like, well, no, not really, but just watch it. Joe Inoi. Oh, whoa, it's Joe Inoi. That's kind of cool. Anyway, so he talks about stuff like language and cultures. Like he talks about Japanese culture. He's like bilingual. He kind of grew up both. So he talks about how crappy American culture is like. I like him the most when he's trash talking American culture. Like he's like, what is this like school lunch thing? It's like garbage food. It is, obviously. It's really fun hearing him trash talk that. Another one is the legendary Hiroyuki. Hiroyuki, I think everyone knows him. He's really popular. He makes long videos, tons of them. Matt vs. Japan likes him. So, Hiroyuki, what else? And other stuff on YouTube, just like nice music, background music, that's what I have here. Like Studio Ghibli music, or Joe Hisaishi is really good I listen to his music a lot. Some other random YouTube videos and stuff sometimes. I'm not too much on YouTube, but there's some cringe. Oh yeah, I recently watched some cringe that, I don't know what to call it, but it's a new like format of video that's really cool. Oh wait. Oh yeah, Didi Kuru. This is like this garbage. It's kind of yeah, just search up Didi Kuru. on YouTube, and you'll get this. It's like voice acting anime characters, and it kind of looks like a light novel, visual novel kind of thing. It's like a visual novel type thing, but it's kind of like a podcast, and I've been immersing in that the last few days. So as I said, so the light novel that I'm kind of reading right now is Majo no Tabi Tabi. The thing that I'm watching on YouTube right now is Niri Kuru. The anime that I'm watching right now is let me look at it. Oh yeah, I got Natsume Nichijoucho. No? Wait. Natsume. What the hell? Sorry. Yujincho. Natsume Yujincho. And like favorite characters, Nyanko Sensei. That's pretty good. So I'm just minding that, watching that. Almost done with it, I think. So that's pretty good. So, what else? This video is really long so far, so let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Again, this is all over the place, but I just want to tell you that I do have doubts and worries and struggles, you know, a lot of them. I think I've come off as like pretty successful so far in this video talking about my Japanese journey. It's been a year. I think I'm pretty good. My listening ability isn't as good as I kind of want it to be, and I'm not that good at reading light novels. If I pick up like an adult novel, it's just too hard. Like one day I'll read Ningen Shikaku and Snow Country Yukiguni. I'll read those two novels easy one day. But yeah, so I can really only read like the easiest of light novels easily, obviously. But so easiest of light novels easily. So I don't want to come off as like saying I'm really good. I'm not, but I can understand most stuff. So I can understand most stuff of most things, and the things that I'm more used to consuming, I can understand more of. So like slice of life anime is really, really easy for me because I've immersed in it a lot. If you give me something I haven't really immersed in, I'll understand a lot less of it, but I'll still understand most of it. Like adult novels, podcasts where people are talking like really like casually and slurring stuff, and there's multiple people talking. That's really difficult for me as well. My listening ability is just not good enough to understand most of what is talked about in those kinds of podcasts, so I don't really listen to them. So again, I just want to make it clear my ability is not amazing, but I can understand most stuff. I can speak to a certain extent, you know, I can output, write and read, write and speak outputs to a certain extent. I don't really choose to, just because I don't have opportunities to speak. Like, I don't have people that I speak on a regular basis Japanese. If my older sister, who lives in Japan, I guess I can talk about a little bit about Julian, about them. In Japan, they've been teaching English in Japan for the last like 4 years or something. Really long time. But yeah, living the real AJAT life in the country of Japan. You know. So obviously, their Japanese is super good, completely fluent, unlike me, obviously, because it's been 1 year for me in like 5 years. But anyways, so yeah, so I don't really output, so I can't really say about how good I am at outputting, but I don't really try because just input because I'm not ready for output right now. Like, I'm not at stage 3 of Refold. I'm at stage 2C. And just by the way, stage 2C of Refold is definitely the longest stage. You will be in 2C the longest. Like the qualification to move up to stage 3 is to understand, is to pick a TV show meant for adults. It's like a drama meant for adults, and watch it with no subtitles and without pausing or using a dictionary, and understand everything that is being said. So yeah, That's still a while away. Like if I did that, I would understand. Again, I'd understand most stuff. I understand most stuff, and to defy some people's definition, I'm fluent. Like that's two. I bet I'm probably farther than most people get after learning Japanese for like a year. And now, obviously, the amount of months and years you spend is not as important as the amount of hours, obviously. So, but again, I don't have that logged. I could make an estimation, maybe 1,000 hours of immersion or something. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe 1,500, 2,000. I don't know. Maybe 1,500 hours. But no, not 1,500 hours. That's probably too much. That's probably more than but somewhere in the magnitude of 1,000 hours. It could be 2,000. It could be 600. It could be 1,300. I have no idea. Plus, tracking hours is something that I'm not against. You're expecting me to say the other way. No, but tracking is really good, I think. And I honestly wish I'd been tracking. I wish I'd been tracking my hours. Wish I'd been, writing down all the media I've been consuming and making update videos frequently, but I haven't, and that's fine. I don't want to beat myself up after it. May as well start right now. I'm starting right now, okay? And so, yeah, this is a long recording. But yeah. Let's see. So I was briefly touched on like doubts, worries, stuff like that, and yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand myself really, but that's kind of a more personal thing. In terms of Japanese, I know there's a point like a couple months ago where I didn't do Anki for like 4 days straight, didn't immerse. Kind of like that rut earlier in my journey, like early February or something, or maybe late January. It was really bad, and I didn't like do it for 2 weeks. But like a couple months ago, that was like 4 days in a row. So that was really bad. Yeah. Let me just say some more random stuff that's not really connected, but I'll just, whatever popping in my mind. I always do Anki in the morning, most days. I do Anki in the morning, basically first thing. I take a shower, I go on a run, take dog on a walk. Then Anki takes about an hour to do Anki. And right now, I'm not doing Japanese all day. Right now, it's like summer vacation, so there's no school, but I'm doing something else, a launch school. Basically, you can think of it as programming, a mastery-based programming online program for software developers. So I'm doing that. It's pretty interesting. I do that like 5 hours a day. And I learn Japanese as well. So I've struggled a lot, especially I know that the first 7 months or so, like from June 2020 to like January or February of 2021 was really good, and I immersed a ton, making a lot of progress. And I would say that sometimes I don't know, I can be weird sometimes and like make myself fall into ruts. I don't know. Wait. No? Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't understand myself sometimes. Anyway, but I like learning Japanese. Pretty cool. Good content. It's really kind of amazing that how Japanese is kind of unique because it has all of this content based around like the art style of like anime, manga, and stuff. And there's like novels and radio shows and like visual novels and like all sorts of things that are kind of unique to Japanese. And that's why Japanese is such an awesome language to learn if you live in America, because you have all of this amazing content that's so unique. Like if you're learning Spanish, there's not that much cool stuff. There's like Spanish dramas, but there's no equivalent to like like light novels and anime and visual novels and like other stuff. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna make another update video soon. I have no idea how soon, but I should stop talking now. It's been 50 minutes. No one's gonna listen to this entire thing. So, if I missed anything that I wanted to say, I'll say it later in another update video. I'll make one. I think I want to make one. So right now it's 12 months. I want to make one at 15 months and make one at 18 months. But maybe not the 15 month. I will cross my eyes, or whatever the saying is. I will make an update video at 18 months. Like that's kind of been my goal for Japanese. Although the more I learn, I realize that 18 months doesn't really mean anything. I remember at the beginning of my journey, I read like Katsumoto's site, like AJAT, all Japanese all the time. I read all of the blog posts and I'm like, yeah, 18 months, let's go. I'll be so good. And I told my older sister, Julian, that I'm like, when the 18 month mark hits, I'll be better at Japanese than you. Obviously, I won't, but I'll be pretty good. Like, obviously, I'll be a lot better than I am now, and I'll understand a lot more, and probably be starting to outputting and stuff, speaking and writing, and, you know, dealing with harder content, like, you know, podcasts with slurred speech and adult hard novels and stuff like that. Yeah, let's see. So I'll probably make an update video in 3 months. If not, I will make one in 18 months. I'll post it to the same YouTube channel. Just check it out. Channel Wee Wee Baby with the W, Wee Wee Baby. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I'm all over the place, but I wanted to say that I got the inspiration to do this after watching Hypothetical Tiger. Aaron, that guy is really awesome. He made a 1-year update video today, and I realized I started learning Japanese at the same time that he did. So a 1-year update is just about now for me, right? So yeah, so Hypothetical Tiger on YouTube. His name's Aaron. Oh, my name's Lewis. I don't think I mentioned that the entire video. I'm Lewis. That's my name. Look, in his 1-year update video, he had like a 3-minute segment at the end that he spoke Japanese. I'm not gonna do that for obvious, I'm not obvious, but I'm not good at speaking. I don't speak on a regular basis, so he does. Hypothetical Tiger, he does speak on a regular basis. So obviously he's a lot more qualified. He's a lot more able to make a few minute segment speaking Japanese. I'm not gonna do that because that's just complete cringe. I could do a few minutes of like reading a light novel, but when I read a light novel, like I have to worry about how to read words and stuff. Like if I'm just looking at it, I can read fairly fast and understand it, but if I have to like say out loud the words, it's a lot slower and harder and stuff, and it's a lot less enjoyable. So yeah. So okay, this is the end. おしまいだ。これはおしまい。Yeah. So if you want to learn a language, go to refold.la. Just type in your address bar refold.la, and you'll get to Refold, the Refold website, made co-founded by Matt vs. Japan, the legend, the one and only. Do that if you want to learn language. Join the Discord server so go to the refold.la and find the Discord server and join that. There's a lot of people in the Discord server sharing media and talking about stuff. You watch all of Matt vs. Japan's YouTube videos basically, and that's if you want to learn Japanese. If you don't want to learn Japanese, if you're not learning Japanese, that's fine. But you know, I don't even know what my audience for this is. It can be anyone. So do that. Oh well. Yeah, that's about it. I need to stop recording at some point. Just press the Stop, man. I'll end it on a bad note. Nihongo wa totemo jouzu desu. Watashi wa nihongo ga totemo jouzu desu. Watashi wa nihongo ga totemo jouzu desu. 見てくれてありがとうございます。またな。